I'll probably jump if it does.
You're like, I'm not used to all these loud noises from dogs.
Well, and it's just like literally every time a car goes by, he goes to the door and barks. And I'm like, okay, that's good if there's ever like stranger danger. But for me with cats and not hearing any noises ever, I'm just like, all of a sudden I go, oh, okay. So if I randomly jump and then all of a sudden just like disappear, well, mute myself.
You're like, that's why.
That's why.
So yeah, we are live on
oh my
the
gosh,
YouTube.
what's at the bottom of this? Want to be in one of our, oh man, what did you learn?
I know.
That's so fancy.
I'm getting with it, you know. Hi, Erin. How are you? I'm assuming it's Erin.
Yeah, I think it's Erin.
Hi, Christine.
And Alicia.
And hi, Alicia. How is everybody?
Oh, we got other Alicia here too.
We got two Alicias.
It's been a while, I feel like. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm figuring out after a year, I'm figuring out this whole StreamYard.
You're allowed that, okay? A year, I mean, at that point, you can start to get fancy.
Get fancy with it, yeah.
Oh, so goodness.
Doing good. It is Erin.
Nice.
One day, y'all are gonna like fake me out, and it's gonna be Heidi. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Erin." You're like, "Actually, it's Heidi."
Oh goodness.
Watch.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Oh, the queen is here. Just waiting for her comment to pop up so I can put it in.
I was just like, really? I don't see her anywhere. There she is. Hi.
Because I have YouTube up on my other monitor here, so I'm just like
getting extra fancy over here. Look at you.
I recently learned how I can split my monitors because I can have my laptop open, then I have this different monitor. Because
I could have taught you how to do that.
I knew I could do it because I do it at work when I sit at a desk with two monitors, but it's just like I've never done it on my own personal station. So
Google's a beautiful thing. That's what I had to do because that's how my work monitors are set up at work. And then when we went to home in March, they're like, okay, you can go ahead and take a laptop, or you need a laptop because that's the only way you can work. And then they're like, okay, now take this other screen with you. And I was like, great. And then I plugged in, like I got this HDMI cable. I'm like, I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to be having two monitors. It's going to be fine. Get it plugged in. And I'm like, why is my laptop just over here? Like, that's not cool. I need two monitors. I swear, I spent like 60 minutes trying to figure it out on my own, and then I was like, Google, how do I get two monitors? 30 seconds later, it was done. I was just like, should have Googled it from the start.
Google it. Hi, Danielle. How are you? Oh, Anna's here. Hi, how are you? Yeah, honestly, I asked Joe, and I was like, I know there's a way to do this, and he's like, yeah, you can do that. And then he's like, but I gotta go, and I'm like,
so you're like, rude husband, rude.
How good are you?
Oh goodness.
He's good for lots of things, but like 2 times this week he's come home and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're here early, and he was just like, I'm just coming to pick up something and then I gotta go again. I'm like,
been like, you could have been here longer.
But I guess it's okay because this week is heavy with the live stream, so I feel bad when I'm out here like doing the live streams and then he's just fending for himself.
Hey,
hi, Shannon. But I'm like, hey man, I gotta talk to the people about these books.
Yeah, Nicole got better. She got fancy.
Fancy with it.
Oh my gosh, Anna, you got to. It's so good.
It's so you would love it. It's so good. I mean, of course, it's Julia and Lindsey, but then I think this is so honestly good.
Makes me want to become a little bit of a fashionista. Like I'm encouraged to like try with my outfits, so I'm just like, let's do this.
I just think Mia is so cute and so relatable. Just because, like, God, I don't know. I feel like all of Julia and Lindsey's characters are relatable, but I don't know. Mia's just
she speaks to me. Like I feel like she gets me on like a personal level, and I'm just like, I feel like you were written for me. It's okay, Shannon.
It's okay. It's okay. You're here as long as you don't mind spoilers.
I'll hold off on the spoilers, but yeah. Yeah, I'm at a friend's house, so if at any point a dog barks or I jump and throw my tea somewhere, I'll try to go as mute as quickly as I can, but it's a 1 week thing.
We talked last week about, I'll be in a different location too, and then I didn't.
Right. This series is so cute. I will say, I freaking couldn't nail it this time. I was going in all confident. I'm like, I got it in the first one. Let's try and get it. And I'm getting 75% through the book. And I'm like, I have a list of at least 4 suspects and they're all guilty. So I don't know who could be.
All guilty. I thought it was that, honestly, for the longest time, I thought it was that deaf guy that,
the flower guy?
The flower guy, yeah. I was like, you're totally, he was so, angry with her for, coming into, his flower shop. And then when he, pulled her out into, the side, he starts, bursting out crying. And
that was his friend. That was Mr. Okay, first of all, I didn't even put the killer on my list. I had, he was announced, and I was like, it was probably, 5 pages before it was, officially announced, and I was like, I don't have this guy on my list, but I'm really starting to feel like he should be.
Right.
But the guy you're talking about, it was Mr. Flick. It was not, I don't think it was Duff, because Mr. Flick was his business partner, and he was the one that broke down in the painting gallery. But Duff, I believe, is also the flower guy.
Okay.
But yeah, I got at one point, I was like, this guy's going after all the tail with the ladies. I'm like, he's probably swinging both ways at this point. These guys are probably upset that the ladies are getting all the action. And then I had this whole scheme. I'm like, we've got too many jilted lovers involved in all of this. And I just couldn't figure out for the life of me until it got down to ground zero. I think at one point she was just like, who is the real Renaissance man? Where have I heard that before? And I was like, that creepy man in the beginning where I said he gave you a flower and he should go away. That's the guy.
That's the guy. Meanwhile, I'm reading it. I'm just like, who did say that? Oh my God.
I know.
Who the heck?
This one flew over my head. I couldn't nail it to save my life. Although I got really feisty. I don't know if it was because I had too much coffee. I screenshotted you that one, and I was just like, I think I'm going to need to read something rather graphic after this.
I think I'm going to need to read some Madison Faye after this. And honestly, I want to as well, because she hasn't released a book in a while, and I'm feeling antsy, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a couple times where I was just like, I get a weird vibe from this guy, but I'm like, I think it's because he's coming on too hard and I need him to step off from my ship.
I thought he had some weird twin fetish.
Yeah.
But then at the end, he was like, oh,
she was my hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I was like, she was married, and she didn't want to, she didn't have any questions about her fidelity. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, get out of here.
I know. I was like, because at first he started off and he was just like, oh yeah, it must be really hard because your sister's extra beautiful. And I was like, thanks, I guess. And then it got to the bottom where he was just like, yeah, I was totally into you at that point. I'm like, weirdo, get out of here.
I like how it's even Mia sometimes is just like, oh, Brie is just so beautiful. I'm like, bitch, y'all look exactly the same. Y'all are.
And I had a feeling it was going to have something to do with the twin aspect, because it came up a couple times, and I so loved how Jake from State Farm, don't worry, I got it right.
Alicia figured it out.
Yeah, that was me last week. I couldn't nail it this week. There was just too many people in and out of everything, and I was just like, we have too many suspects at this point. Everyone was a suspect. Oh, words are hard. Suspect this week. But yeah, at one point I loved how she was dressed up as something, and I think it was Dan had no clue that it was Brie, and he was just took one look at her and then took one long look at her, and then he was just went along with it, and then he's like, where's Brie? And I go, the two of them apart. I love that so much.
I love that so much. I was like, he already knows. He can tell them apart. But Erin, I totally agree with you here, just because I was just like, okay, she got poisoned, which wasn't her fault. She had to get her, stomach pumped, and, she was, feeling kind of post-traumatic stress about everything that went on. She's like, I can't dance tonight. Can you please go on a dance for me? She not only did that, she, agreed to go on a date with this guy anyway. And And then while she was dancing, she got shot in the stomach with paintballs. But
still,
I got shot. I have been shot by paintballs. They hurt, especially at close range. And also then the guy that her sister tried to set her up with turns out to be a freaking creepy serial killer. I'm like, you honestly, there's groveling. You owe her so many things. Like, hopefully.
She's like laying on the ground and she felt bad. Or no, it was before when she was just like, I felt so bad for Brie. Like, I totally brought this onto her. And I'm going, what? Like, get out of here. You are not at fault for this. There's some weirdo out there trying to like kill you and you're blaming yourself. Like, no, that's not happening right now. I was a little upset with her for that, but I was just like, I kind of see where you're coming from. But at the same time, I'm like, I hope that the beginning of this book starts off with like Brie on her knees and just like begging for forgiveness. Speaking of being on your knees, that photo shoot, oh my god, can we get some of those photos, because I need those in my life right now. The fact that he put them in his jacket, I was just like, oh my god, you know what he's doing to that later.
Oh yeah, I was just like, as soon as that, oh my gosh, I would love to see those photos. Honestly, like, she's probably looking so fine. And then he's like, you can get copies.
Oh god, I loved it so.
I loved it
so much.
That. But he was kind of coming out of his shell, kind of thing, and kind of accepting of the fact that he has feelings for her and everything. So.
Oh yeah.
I just saw your comment. The photos, yes.
Yeah. I love that she's like, I didn't know that they were risque photos until the last one. And I was just like, it doesn't matter. Like, at that point, I love it so much.
Yes, it was fantastic. And she's like, I'm wearing heels. And she's like, that's not very pioneer of you.
And then she like whipped it up her leg and she's like, I saw the lace, and I'm like, I can just imagine the way that Jack is going to look at that. And then she like snapped at the perfect moment. I was like, hallelujah, you got it. Nailed that shot.
Nailed it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. That got a little post-it note, and yep, it was great.
Oh, and in the moment when she was on the stage for her sister and he brought out a white flag because he knew she was going to panic, and he's like, cosplay. And I'm like, you guys are covered for each other, and I need back room and babies immediately and go to Vegas afterwards and get married for a shotgun wedding like your sister or brother.
Somebody.
In this book, I was just like,
They are so in tune with each other, honestly. Like, and he got her through it. I was like, that's fantastic. She was sassy. She's just sassy in general. So not even to kiss him.
I know. Didn't they kissed in book? No, they didn't. Maybe it was a fake kiss in book one. Was it a fake kiss?
No, they just right up in graze. Yeah, they kind of grazed each other. Not even a full kiss, because he was saying like in the where were they at? But they were saying, PDA makes people uncomfortable, so he was trying to make it seem like they were kissing, but he didn't kiss her.
Julie and Lindsay, I need a spoiler. Can you please at least tell me there's a kiss to look forward to in book 3? And if not, can you maybe write a short story? And then just know that if you write a short story, you're going to be a winner for the Bookish Academy Awards of 2021 for short story.
For novella, please. So many highlights. Hey, Charles, how are you?
Hey, Charles.
She is, oh God, she's so
I
good.
love it so much. And now that I have like Felicity Smoke in my head, I just imagine Felicity and Oliver in my head, the characters, actors too, but I was like, I imagine them together and I'm just like, I need you to kiss, please, please be together. And it just,
honestly, I would love like Stephen Amell and Emily Bett Rickards to be together, but even though, he is married and has a beautiful family, but I'm just like, you guys are perfect. Stop teasing me. And I did watch the series finale of Arrow, which tore my heart out. No spoilers, but I'm just.
I haven't watched it yet. I'm debating on wanting to start from the beginning because I want to go back to like the Salmon Ladder days, but then I also have to get through like season 3 and 4 and 5, which were kind of just like.
Yeah.
Had to get through those. So I'm debating.
Maybe you could just have it on in the background while you do something else.
Maybe that works. While I do some work while I'm off the phones. I might be able to get through those seasons then. Yeah.
You're welcome. But lots of highlights in this book, and honestly, I think as of right now, it's my favorite in the series.
Yeah.
As of right now.
I was going to say that too. I was like, can I give it a 5.5 stars? Can I give it a 6 stars? Is it too much? Is it too little? Stars. Is it not enough?
10 stars for sure.
Man.
So, I mean, we all know like it's a 5 stars for me, but what did everybody rate it in the comments? Who have
finished it?
Who have finished it? Yeah, for sure.
Excuse me.
Yay to catching up on Arrow. Yes. And honestly, I don't even think I'm going to catch up on Flash or Supergirl. I didn't even start Legends tomorrow. I was like, I can't, y'all. I can't stand this many crossovers. I can't.
Well, you can watch the crossovers.
This last crossover, 6 shows. You had to watch every single episode or you were lost for sure.
Well, yeah, I know, but you can watch the crossovers without having to like watch the whole show. It's just there are certain aspects like probably Easter eggs, but yeah, you have to
That's what we did.
Down.
That's what we did, yeah. We watched just the crossover episodes. We didn't watch the season or whatever.
That's what I had to do because I gave up on Legends of Tomorrow. It kind of got meh to me.
Alicia, I approved your comment, but it's not coming over to StreamYard, so I'm just going to read it on YouTube. It said, her family is a trip too. Her sister running around like a harlot, and her parents making out at the fair, and her father smacking her mom's ass. I love it. I love when Grandma was on stage with that magician.
The magician.
My God, that
Marvin.
was so freaking funny.
Oh my God. And when they had to explain his last name, like it was just his legit last name. And then the dad, like, oh goodness.
I know, he was like having heart palpitations. Yeah. And even Mia was like, well, it's mom's mom. It's not even her dad's mom. So it's like, if she's fine with it, I'm fine with it kind of thing.
I have to be at that point.
I finished it. I don't give star ratings anymore. Honestly. Yeah.
That's good though.
Honestly, good. Like so true. Because I give so many like 3 and 4 stars. I hardly give, anything 5 stars unless you're Julie and Lindsey. And I hardly give anything 2 stars or 1 star. So it's like, it's basically I have a lot of 3s and 4s.
Yeah,
not
that's
really
true.
A whole lot of range there.
3s and 4s that end up ultimately being like an actual 3.5 because it's like middle of the road. But whether I put it as a 3 or as a 4, like speaks volumes to that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm right there with you.
I have a new low of kissing the coronavirus, so it's like hardly anything's going to be that low.
I've been going through the Bridgerton series, so I finally got The Duke and I, which I feel like was a really well adaptation. Spoiler alerts for 2021 Bookish Awards so far. I mean, it's the beginning of the year, so it could get mixed up. Who knows what's happening? But yeah, they did a really good job, like 1 for 1. But I am very much enjoying book 2, and that's so hard too, because book 2 usually is the one where I feel like authors struggle the most. But
yeah, that's book 2 syndrome.
The Viscount and Me, I love me some Anthony. Sorry.
Oh, that's so funny. But yeah, so how many books have you read so far this year?
Me? I think this is my 9th one.
Cool.
I think it's 9.
Let's find out. Let's find out.
Let's find out. Yeah, this is my 9th one. And then once I finish The Viscount and Me, that'll be 10.
The Viscount and Me. 10? Nice even number.
Yeah. That's like one every 2 days. Like, who am I? I don't even know. Don't even know anymore.
Congratulations.
Thanks. How many books are you up to? 50? 75? 102? 102. I knew it.
I'm not Charles. He's already at 40. He's already at 43. Yeah. So everybody, how many books are you at this year?
I interrupted you though. I didn't hear your answer. I'm sorry. Well, how many did you say you read?
Alicia's at 7 and 75 through The Duke and I. Nice. Finishing this book, I'm at 4. I'm at 14. So the next book I start will be 15.
Noise.
So I am behind.
How are you behind? I was just like, your goal is what, 150 or 200?
200, yeah.
200. You're right on par.
11, nice. 7, nice.
7's good number. 7's good.
I only read 4. Fantastic.
It's awesome. No, I'm just throwing numbers out there because Nicole can read so fast. And so I was just like, I'm going to get real crazy with my numbers. 14, way to go. I mean, I guess that's the same that Nicole got, and I didn't get as excited, but I just feel like, sorry, Nicole.
Wow. You're like, okay, well, Nicole's a freak anyway, so. I've read 16 titles, only 2 were novels. What were the other ones? Like
graphic novels? Hold on. Is that how I do it? Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. Yeah, hold on. I can hear you. She doesn't know how to mute herself. That's okay. I can mute you. But
am I muted now?
No, you're not muted now. Now you are. Because I can mute you. I can, if you can figure it out. So 9 so far. Nice. 4 novels. 7 plus our book will make 8 for January so far, but I did read, oh gosh, 500 plus pages, 600. Oh my gosh. Way to go. All right, so I'm just gonna start with the post-it notes on how you doing.
Hopefully. Like I told you, I can't. If he goes by the door and there's someone there, or he thinks someone's there, he freaks out.
Yeah. Other stuff was comics, graphic novels. Nice.
Play. I need to read more plays.
Alrighty.
I need to get through the Jane Austen list of them. I think I've only ever read Pride and Prejudice.
You've never read Persuasion?
I don't think so. You're like, I know what we're reading in March. Or I think it would have to be April.
Yeah, it'd be April. Oh my gosh, Persuasion is so good.
What? No, that's Shakespeare. Never mind.
What?
I was thinking like A Midsummer's Night's Dream, but I'm like, no, that's Shakespeare. That's not it. Not it at all.
That's not it. Here we go. Post-it note time. So my first post-it note is, of course, when Jake comes on the scene, and I'm just like, hey, baby, it's nice to see you. Oh, I love you. I love that you guys love post-it note time. I like it. Read Austin's collection annually.
They had something come up on Audible that was part of their included package that had like all of them. So I was like, I think this year I'm going to attempt to get that in this year, because I would love to say that I've read or listened to all of them. But yeah. Question for you. Your post-it notes. Do you feel like you only have post-it notes when it's Jake and Mia on the page, or do you have like a wide range?
Well, I feel like Jake and Mia are mostly on the page a lot, but I feel like I have a lot of post-it notes.
Okay. Because I started realizing when they were on the page together, I didn't have as many thoughts. And
you're like, honestly,
I was just like, oh, okay. Words.
When they're not together, it's just, filler until they are together.
So I noticed that halfway through the book, I was just loving on a scene. And then I thought to myself, I'm like, I'm posting too much within this chapter. And then I'm just like, it's an ebook. It doesn't matter. And then I kept reading, and then I'm like, I haven't posted in a while. And I'm like, oh, because Jake and Mia aren't together. And I'm going, is there a theme? Do I only put notes when they're together?
Yes.
Yeah.
Persuasion and Mansfield Park are your favorites.
No.
Shannon didn't even read your note before you posted it. And the play I read was The Duchess of Malfi by John Webster. I love tragedies. You love to be sad. I got an Austen books for my birthday and only read Sense and Sensibility so far. That hasn't come on the stream yet. There it goes. There it goes. All right. So yeah, that was my first post note. I love that he's back. And honestly, when his brother first came to the scene, I was just like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he?
I know you are.
I know you're here somewhere.
But again, 3 months and no contact?
No call, nothing. And I like how when she called him out on it too. She was like, I thought I did something wrong. I don't, how many times has she said, she doesn't pick up on social cues, she kind of needs she needs it said to her, you know, kind of thing, because otherwise she's not going to infer anything. And but he was sorry.
Oh, I love how she points it out. She's like, I love to people watch, but interacting with them, I'm no good. And I'm like, it's accurate. It's very accurate.
I like high stakes in drama of tragedies, but not in the contemporary setting. Only old stuff is amazing.
I need to read me some historical. I guess never mind, because I'm reading Julia Quinn. I'll stop. I'll just sit over here and look pretty. Next post-it note.
I was like, aren't you reading the
my goal is I need to read more of the Kindle books that I have, and I need to finish several series that I am in the middle of. Like, I need to finish the Gina Showalter one because I dropped off after we stopped. I don't know how I did, but I did. And then I have the Pink Carnation series that I've been wanting to finish for like 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to try and get through those.
Nice.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
3 months no contact is rough. Yeah,
especially trauma. Oh my God. And
like, you couldn't even text, say, hey, are you doing okay? Like, no, I'm suffering from post-traumatic stress. Thank you, though.
I love how he immediately like comes back and then he's just like doing sweeps of everything. I need to figure out what his deal is with money, because I don't understand like what's freaking him out about that, because she's so self-conscious of it. And I'm like, is there something there? Because I mean, maybe like I didn't pick up on it as much this time. And I'm like, I don't think he really cares. But at the same time, I'm like, I feel like there's something that I'm missing or that I'm not more concerned about.
Well, I think, in the first book, she said he reacted really weird when she said that she was the CIO of her grandmother's, you know, big corporation. So she's basically very well off. So she has this notion in her head, because he never said anything about it. He never, like, it was never brought up again. So she has this notion in her head that he's insecure about her money, which I don't think he is. It was just never explained to her, you know, that.
Well, she brought it up again in this book, which is why I'm like,
yeah, very weird.
For him, the money thing was like, he was expecting all of her shady work, that she was actually going to be exploiting people for money to get wealthy. So that was my impression, that it was going to be a big deal. But she brought it up again in this book, and I'm like, well, he already knows kind of what you do, and he seems to be okay with that. So it's like,
yeah. But, you know, in this book, it was kind of like she moved into that penthouse because she felt safer. There was the more security. Well, that's what the excuse that she gave was. Like, there's the security at the door, you know, the penthouse, you know, there's only one way in, one way out kind of thing. So
security guard, I couldn't even hear a herd of elephants.
I know.
There were so many descriptions that I loved in this book. Sorry, I know that I had you going off on one thing and then I interrupted and I switched gears. My bad.
Gosh. 79% through sentimentally nice. I loved it when she told him that he took himself out. He sure did. He's like, bye. He's like, you have everything you need right here. I'm going to go. And honestly, I honestly don't think that he ever thought he would see her again, except for one of his witnesses is now coincidentally, you know, dead. So and when that happened, he was just like, it's my first, wasn't it? I was supposed to protect him. Like,
now he did.
I was like, this new job ain't working out for you, right?
I was like, well, and then when she was trying to hire a new person, and she goes, I'm not going to hire a man, and I want it to be like a nice little old lady. And I'm like, how about you hire a man that's, you know, in 30 somethings and is a deputy U.S. Marshal with a background in crime division? She didn't take my advice when I put that in there.
He wants to be a marshal, so.
Does he though?
He left cybercrime for a reason. I'm with you, Jen. Reading my own unread books is definitely a goal. Oh my gosh, my Kindle books. Like, every time I get those emails, I have to like tell myself, like, Nicole, you do not need all the free Kindle books. You don't need them. Yeah. All of them? Like, I was like, oh, they're free. If they're not good, who cares?
The only problem I have is, and I don't think that you do this, but I put them on my like to read list, even if they're free. So then it starts to get overwhelming, because I see that I have like 12,000 unread books, or not 12,000, 1,200 unread books. And I'm just like, I should probably get through some of these. And then my goal is to try and stay on top of like new releases, because a lot of times like I'll push that like way under the rug.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Ran out of steam with Lords. Honestly, it happens. This last book with William wasn't my favorite. I mean, it's probably, honestly, I think it's probably going to end soon, because I feel like a lot of people, the fans, are feeling like you are, Aaron. Finish what we start series-wise. Yes.
Yeah. Just
Fifi.
Fifi was my favorite. I loved her.
Fifi is amazing. And even they had a conversation where like, oh, if we invite Fifi into the fold, are we replacing Baxter? And she's like, no. And I'm like, that's so sweet. They have like a new friend now.
Can I just say, like, I was for sure at one point that it was going to be Rina as the murderer, because I was like, oh my God, she's probably, because everyone thinks of her as so young, she's probably like the jilted lover that doesn't get any attention, and that she was going to try and kill Nate, and that would have been a whole different series. But again, my suspect list was long this time, and I couldn't nail anyone down. I was thinking though, because at one point when he was describing sex, or not sex, yeah, it was. So he was describing like the boy and a girl are friends, a boy and a girl date, a boy and a girl have sex, and I was like, is that how it works?
He didn't even say dates. Like boy and girl like each other, or boy and girl meet, boy and girl like each other, sex. And she's like, that's not how that works.
No. It was just too funny. Oh God.
Yeah, I was dying laughing.
It was like on fire in this book, and I loved it so much.
Yeah, so everybody's just waiting for that, like basically for Mia and Nate to get together, and she's like, we're just friends. Like there's no, and she finally explained it. She was like, no chemistry. I mean, they have chemistry, but like friend chemistry, like no fire, no passion, nothing, no spark, nothing. So
it doesn't push her to be better. But do you know who does? Someone that buys her, or is not threatening to buy her a gun, but is, hinting at if she gets certified that there could be a gun for Christmas. And I was like, that's so sweet.
And I love how she's like, I'm never going to carry a gun, but it's the thought that counts. And for Jake, that makes him feel safer, if he thinks that. And she takes care of herself with these self-defense classes and her she does. I mean, even towards the end there, when she already has a concussion, she's running, she's throwing up, and she still like hits him like with her own head. I was like, that's just gonna make your concussion worse, honey. But whatever you got to do to get yourself away. But it's like, ooh, she can, take care of herself. She can take care of herself at this point.
What she should do? She should move in with Jake so he could watch her, but she could also, just like be there. And her way for a payment for a room could be that they share a room, and he checks the bed with her every night. I had so many feels in this book. I needed that. I needed that kiss, at least a kiss.
Maybe book three. Phoebe said she didn't do lunch. Mia says I do lunch, breakfast, second breakfast. Yes.
Yes.
Like, what about breakfast?
I don't do lunch. What do you mean you don't do lunch? How do you survive? Like, I'll have water, like water with fruit in it. And I'm like, that's not substance. Like, get a steak in you. Get something.
I don't know. She's very weird, but she did eat pizza with Nate that one time. And I was like, how are you going to eat pizza before you go to a Friendsgiving? Like, what?
True. I was like, when did they have pizza? Oh, gosh. I know I did suspect Fifi at one point as well, because I was just like, you're new. You're on the suspect list. And then she ended up being really weird. And then she's like, I'm sorry that I come on really strong. I just want to make a good impression. And I was like, I hope
she could just follow him home and never leave. Like when she went to the crime. Oh my God, that was so funny. He's like, stop following me. She's like, I'm not following you. You're paranoid. And then she does.
And then he like breaks in the side door, or it's open. And then she like runs to catch up. And he's like, then she, oh my God, her parting line where she's like, I gotta go, like get to the fair to question someone. And then she's like,
already there.
Here and see that you've let me in and you're a bad deputy marshal. I was like, damn, I love it so much.
I like that she was going to go question that girl, and he was already there questioning her, and she's like, how did you get here? And he just points to his badge. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. I'm the only girl in my family, so I know how to get, honestly. I'm the daughter of a Marine, so I know how to take care of myself. Oh, but gosh, it's so funny. I love that whole thing where he's like detective or U.S. Marshal, IT girl. It's like, how did you get here? Like, what are you doing? Bad. So funny. I love how much of the action parts. Oh yeah, Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. And I think at one point, this is what I was texting you. At one point when he told Dan to turn around so that he could loosen her corset, I was just like, Dan, get out.
Get out of there.
Loosen the strings. She can maybe loosen your zippers and things can happen. All right, guys, let's make magic.
Make magic happen, people. Let's make magic happen.
Yeah, she was.
Yes. Honestly, this makes me want this missing the Renaissance Festival. That's what I like. This making me miss the Renaissance Festival. Dressing up.
Oh my God. All of it.
All of it. So yeah, my next post note was basically like, he was my first solo assignment and hell of a nice guy, and he's dead. I'm like, oh, poor thing.
Well, I mean, it just means that you have to go back to your job in Horseshoe Falls. I'm just saying.
How about?
Yes! How did we miss that?
He's like, what were you thinking about? Bass?
I love it so much.
He gives her a thumb drive with the U.S. Marshal insignia on it.
I love it so much. She's like, now it's official. Like, nobody else can have these. And I think I made a note of it. And I was just like, I really hope that there's a love letter on this thumb drive.
That would be like so sweet. Oh my God.
I don't know why
I didn't even think of that.
How could you not? I was just like, what if he's just like hiding all of his feelings and the only way he's going to do it is put it onto this thumb drive because he knows that she'll never look at it because she thinks it's blank, and then one day she just pops it in and then there's his feelings. And I was just like, I need this. He's
like, I told her not to interrupt you. He was probably having a grand old time. So funny. Yeah, that was my next post to know about. It was the thumb drive. And I was like, he knows her so well.
I thought that was so freaking cute. It was one of my notes as well. I need to probably post these ones because these ones are literally just my theories throughout the whole thing, and then me hoping that someone would just like kiss and bang. Those were the only two post-it notes that I would put in there this past time.
Oh God, that's so funny. Like, honestly, true though.
I mean, yeah, and that's also why I want to read more Kindles, because you're right. Like, it's very fun to kind of put your thoughts on the page as you're reading.
Yeah. And then just post them to Goodreads.
Yeah, and then everyone can see how creepy and weird I am. One track mind over here, Jen. One track mind.
Shannon called it. Oh, so funny. So funny. So my next post note is when Grandma was doing the performance with the magician, and she's like, Grandma put 70 years of attitude to work on stage.
She did.
70 years of attitude. I love it so much. Oh God. I was like, get it, Grandma. Oh, and then she was saying, my next post note is how Grandma has a thing for kilted men. And she said clicking kilted men ads had given her laptop more than one virus. And guess who had to fix that problem? I was like, ads or porn.
I posted that as well. And then at one point, oh gosh, they said something about it too. And I was just, me and Grandma would get along just so well. Because I mean, it was because she was saying everyone was asking her about her and Nate, and she was trying to explain like how she wanted a man with brains and brawn. And then she was describing how hard that was to find. So one of my comments was, and it was just before this scene too, and my comment to it was, finding a man with brains and brawn is like finding a unicorn. And I was like, thank God that Scotland's national animal is a unicorn. And I was like, give me a Scot on the rocks. Why is there something sexy about a man in a kilt? And like the fact that you see a kneecap, it's literally like the ankle of Elizabethan time. Like, show me that ankle. I'm like, I need to see them kneecaps. I don't know what it is. I have not had any alcohol. This is tea, guys.
Honestly, though, like when watching Outlander, especially in the first couple of seasons, you know, when he is in full kilt and regalia and everything, and I was just like, please just kneel down so I can see your kneecaps, for the love of God.
I love it so much. Oh,
like, please, please.
Yes.
One of my notes was how sexual her family was. Yes.
Shannon.
Got on the rocks. I love Mia's grandmother. She's one of my favorite. Yeah, she's so good.
She's so
good.
I would say Bree is too, but I feel like Bree pushes her and then makes her feel guilty. Like she's got the twin guilt thing like going strong. And I'm like, Bree,
that's the only thing that siblings can do, though, make you feel guilty and try to get you to do stuff and pay for their rent and drugs and stuff. But well, you're not talking about my life. Grandma is one of the best characters, hands down, for sure. For sure. My next post note was just basically her following Jake, and he was just like, "Stop following me. I'm not. Jeez, you're so paranoid." She was legit following him. So funny.
All the time.
They're just so cute. They were so cute in this book. I just can't with them. They're so cute.
They were on another level for sure. For sure.
My next post note after that was, the one where she's saying, "How are you here?" He tapped on the badge on his belt. He's like, he's actually good at his job. Like, are you surprised that, the U.S. Marshal or detective is one step ahead of you in the investigation that he's working on? Like, it's like, how did you get here? Oh, so funny. Okay, yeah, my next post-it note is the photo shoot. I'm like, yeah.
That photo shoot. I need this photo shoot. I need the images in my life. I need to see it. Seeing is believing.
Elizabeth's like, twisted tea. Like, no, Earl Grey. I'm actually drinking Lady Grey. But
I was drinking a decaf Earl Grey. I'm almost done.
I'm done with mine.
Because I wanted
to. I gotta catch up. I gotta catch up on my water. I'm behind.
Yeah, like I saw that. I go, what the hell is that? That's like a giant. What do they say on the side of it? Their times?
Yeah, times. I'm only halfway there. I'm so far behind.
Yeah, you're 4 hours behind. Chug, chug, chug. You're gonna have to pee. Don't chug too much.
I know. Well, I don't start drinking water till like 11 a.m. Because I'm drinking coffee in the morning. I gotta wake up.
There is water in your coffee, so it's not gonna kill you.
Yeah. So, I was thinking like, technically, like living in the desert, you're supposed to, drink. I don't even know how many ounces of water you're supposed to drink. They say
half your body weight.
They say a half ounce to an ounce per pound you weigh. So I'm like, okay, here's a gallon.
I feel like we'll start there.
I will say
that if I have too much water, though, I have to pee. But I think it's because I.
And then you got to worry about flushing electrolytes out of your system. So I have some of those electrolyte replacement stuff. But
okay.
I really love Lady Grey. It's so good, especially with some of that sweet cream. Yeah.
Sweet creamer. Yep.
I honestly, you know what I was thinking about the other day, Jen? I was thinking about that when I made scones and made that Devonshire cream with the strawberries. Oh my God, I was thinking about that. I was like,
I know. We need to have a tea party. Maybe we can have a tea party. We can't wait till July because I can't wait till July when we're reading the Seaside Cafe to have a tea party. We'll have to find another book. Should we give book 2 a shot?
We should honestly just do it. We don't even need a reason.
That could be what our next thing is. We get together and we have a tea party and we just talk to one another together. But we have to be together at that point. So we'll have to make that work.
We got to be together. So
together, yeah. Sorry, too much? Not enough.
No, it's perfect. It's just great. So for my next post-it note is basically when Jake was telling her about what happened to his first love, that she died in Kuwait because she was a soldier as well. She was it was a roadside bomb. And then he's like, I did 3 more tours before coming home. I couldn't bring myself to leave her there, but she wasn't coming home. One day I had to let go.
I was like, the day that you met Mia, you had to say, peace out, Kuwait lady. I found my new love. Is that too far?
That's too far. It's too far. Like he's just
I know. I said it, but I was just like,
the trauma here. But yeah, that's like honestly, that hits me so hard because we have a lot of military in my family, and so it's We haven't lost anybody, thank God. But you know, there are a lot of people who do lose loved ones in the military. And
I felt so bad too. Earl Grey cream is delightful. Yes.
I haven't had
I felt
Earl Grey cream.
No? Oh my gosh, you have to have it. It's wonderful.
Thank you for the recommendation, Rachel. I will drink that immediately.
But yeah, I felt so bad because the way that he was describing it was like he'll never love again. And I'm just like, you're literally blowing holes in my ship. I'm like, at some point you are gonna have to say, like, she would want me to be happy. I mean, yes, there has to be a time frame in which you have to have your mourning period. But at that, after what, 4 or 5 years?
He was saying like this happened more than 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's got to, and this might be something that gets addressed in book 3, where he's going to realize he has to let her go, or at least just like learn to be happy with someone else.
Yeah, I mean, it's just everybody like grieves in their own way, and everyone takes as much time as they need. But yeah, I think he was just at that point he was just explaining what happened, like in book 1. You know, it's just like he didn't really want to go down that way, and you know, maybe he is ready now. Maybe that's where that conversation was leading. They did go on a date at least.
I think they've been on like at least 2 dates. Oh my gosh. Okay, so funny story. Me and Vera were watching Robin Hood the other day because it had Jamie Dornan and it had my Taron Egerton in it. So first of all, we were watching it and she was just like, I don't understand why this lady moved on with Jamie Dornan. And she's like, you would never
understand why someone just moved on with Jamie Dornan.
Well, and that coming from her too, I was just like, thank you for appreciating Taron Egerton and his beauty. But anyways, at that point, I was like, oh, well, maybe it's been several years, because it did state that, you know, 4 years later and he's in the middle of a war. Well, we find out later that it was only 2 years and she had already moved on. I was like, 2 years is not enough time to grieve. Like, what is happening? And she was like, how long would you wait? And I'm like, I don't know, probably like 5 years or something. Like, you got a good amount of time. 2 years does not seem like enough. I'm like, I feel like you have to have a year of just like being in your PJs and crying your eyes out. And then you probably need a year to like want to be human again. And then like you have to like break up the courage to get out back in the world like that. I mean, that takes time. She waited 2 years, not even, because she was with the guy before that. Like, it was 2 years since he was announced dead. That didn't even mean that she waited the full 2 years. It could have been like 6 months and she hooked up with this other guy. I was like, who are you? You said that you would wait for him for forever. Like,
she would have waited forever if Jamie Dornan hadn't come on the scene. Like, I mean, like I had to take my shot.
It's not enough.
I had to take my chance, you know. Like, sorry, dude, but it's Jamie Dornan. Like,
I mean, he did have the Irish accent going for him at that point, and you know me, I'm a sucker for them. That's one thing that I still love about Nate. They keep talking about how he's Irish, and I'm just like, ooh, let's have a Guinness together.
He's got the red hair, and I feel like him telling her about his last love was a step toward yes, for sure. That's what I think. Jake obviously is more into me in this book. Yes.
Thank God, I needed it. I need that kiss, though. I need that kiss. I need that paragraph gap that tells me something else happened and my mind can go with it.
Honestly, I would welcome a fade to black in this book. I would welcome it. Even though I don't like fade to black, I would take it. I would take it if it just meant we had something.
She was like, do you want? She invited him upstairs. She was giving him consent. Consent is sexy, according to Nicole. Get on the elevator. Go check the upstairs. Figure out if there's anyone in her bed, and then just say that you're going to stay there for the rest of the night. Like, come on.
Exactly. Exactly.
All lights were green. It was like a freaking screen.
All lights were green. We are having a book discussion, but tangents also happen. So we were talking about this movie, but now we're back to the book. It's fine. We're screwed live, and this is what I got. Nice. At least you're here.
I was like, we can get back to the book.
We can get back to the book. It's fine. That is so funny.
Relevant because it was the scene, so it was
when is the appropriate amount of time to move on after you lose somebody? So
he's waited 10 years. The lady in Robin Hood didn't wait 2. It's, you know, a dealer's choice.
Dealer's choice. So my next post note is when Nate said that he had bought Rain and then invited me to be a partner in the game.
Oh yeah.
And he was freaking out. He was just like, I spent all my savings. He kept repeating it. He was like, I'm freaking out. Oh God. One of the silver linings to jumping into your live stream late is I never know exactly what's going on, but it's gonna be about
yeah.
Tim, you know us so well. Oh gosh. I'm gonna get back to the military takeover. Okay. Bye. After she got shot with the paintballs, I was so worried. I was like, did she seriously just get shot?
I put that in the chat too. He's like, I'm going to watch the gatehouse because this guy's not going to catch a herd of elephants. And I'm like, you literally said like 2 paragraphs ago that she's not leaving your side. Now she's like left your side. She's up in a building. You know she's going to come down and get like kidnapped.
Oh God.
I'm right there with you, Erin. I couldn't.
Killing me. Oh my gosh. He was just like, and especially that scene after she got shot, he was like, I'm gonna kill him, like look away when I do, or something like that. That was so funny. Oh gosh.
I thought that was adorable too, because she was just like, why on earth would you spend your life savings? Like, that's such a stupid decision. Like, you're ruining your life. Like, how can you undo it? And then he's like, well, I bought Rain. She's like, that was the greatest decision you've ever made. Let's do this. And I'm like, who are you? Like, you did a complete 180. Like, you were against it, and now you're like all for it. I'm very confused.
And then she's like, I'll transfer you half of the sale tomorrow. And I'm just like, my God. He's like, and kill me to sign that check over. She has no problems with it. Oh gosh. And I love how after the Friendsgiving and they went mudding on the 4-wheelers, and she's like, I don't think I'll be able to walk straight tomorrow. And Jake snorted, I'm going to leave that statement alone.
I did not want to leave it alone. I was like, I wish there was another reasoning why. And then she was just like, I think mudding is my favorite. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure your favorite thing is holding on for dear life to the love of your life.
I know.
I'm just like, I imagined it. And she was like, I grabbed him onto the sides and then like
gingerly.
And I'm like,
she like gingerly held onto his side, and he was like, oh, this isn't going to work. He like wrapped her out, and then she like tightened her thighs. I'm like, oh God, yes, stop it.
My mind went like to 12 different places. There was one point, and this is at the point where I knew that I needed to read a Madison Faye book, because she had talked about some, oh God, I gotta find it, because it was very wrong what I wrote. But I feel like I need to comment, and then you guys will know what I'm talking about.
So I liked Nate, but it felt like he kept repeating, I spent all my savings over and over because he wanted her. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Or just maybe he's just like very like freaking out. I'd be a horrible rich person, suspicious of everyone. But Mia, like, honestly, she's just like, yeah, here you go, money. But obviously, she's just like, why did you invest in a business, or why did you start your own business? Like 80% of businesses like go bankrupt in the first year or something, she said. So, but with her, it's gonna be fine. She has a lot of people. She's marketing, and everything. So it's gonna be fine.
This is back to the pictures. Sorry, that's where my line came into. And it was just the way that she described it, and then how she said the last line. My comment, I'll tell you first and then I'll read it, was that last line sounded way dirtier to me than it was probably meant to be. So she's describing the picture, and then hold on. So just the last part of it, but she'd colorized the blue waterfall behind us in Jake's eyes, which were hooded and intently focused on my thigh. The lilt of his mouth and jut of his chin made him look sexier than anything I'd ever seen. And based on that photo, my thigh had caused all that. I crossed my legs and shoved the lemonade straw between my lips. And I was just like, I read that so wrong. I was like, first of all, you cross your thighs, so I know what you're doing there. And then she was like, and I put the straw in my mouth, and I'm like, no, like, brain, get out of here. What are you doing? It was bad, guys.
I love that. I knew exactly where you were going with that. That's so funny.
Oh, sorry. I had to read it, though, because I was just like, what was the line? It was, it was
hilarious.
This is what these books do. There's too much tension and there's no release.
So much tension.
So it makes me think bad thoughts about literally everything that's like innocently intended.
So she, like, this is when she asked, do you want to come up as well? And he's like, no, I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Like just so like nonchalant. No, it's fine. I'm like, oh man. And then she said the last part of this chapter was, I ran through the rooms, peeping behind curtains and under furniture, all clear. No one waited in my apartment. No one waited for me anywhere. I'm like, you poor thing. Just tell him, like, I wanted you to come up so we could.
She literally told him to come up. She did it as forcefully as she probably could, and it was well enough. And he was like, unless if you want me to come up. And she's just like, yeah, you should come up. And then he's like, nah. And I go,
no. It's like, he said, no, I'll catch up with you tomorrow. And she said, okay, if you're sure. And then she said, unless you want me to. I'm reading the whole section. This is when she first said, do you want to come up? And he said, nah, I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Okay, if you're sure, unless you want me to. I mean, I can if you need me to check the rooms for you, which he totally misinterpreted why she wanted him to come up. And then she said, no, I'm fine. I'll talk to you later.
I read it differently in my mind. I wanted things to happen.
I know. But she should have said, like, no, I don't want you to come up to, I mean, you could protect me with your body while you're laying on top of my body. I mean, that's.
Well, there's no clothes on.
No clothes.
Bed
But it was innocently intended.
Yeah, I had made a comment at that, and I was like, yeah, you should come up, because my Kindle cut it off so that it just kind of stopped, like, unless if you want me to come up and check my rooms. And I was like, you should check every room and then make sure to get into bed to make sure that nothing's going to harm her there, and then just stay all night. So that was my comment, because I did highlight that area as well.
Exactly. So this is when Bree asked for her to dance in her place, and instead Nate disappeared. He landed on the ground, pulsating with silent laughter. I was just like, how come I have to go to a stupid financial planning class? Oh my gosh, I was dying laughing. And in keeping with Murphy's Law, my life and other things that sucked, Dan and Jake Archer were front and center when I arrived at practice in the world's smallest, most ruffled ensemble.
I at first read Dad and Jake, and I was like, oh, her poor dad, like, get him out of here.
Well, that's why Dad didn't want to babysit Gwen, was because he didn't want to sit there with Gwen as his daughter did a show. So funny. Oh, it's hilarious. Okay. And then I just breathe that whole, like, she's like, I didn't want to have to do this, but I can't let the whole cabaret down, Mia. I wouldn't be experiencing this panic if it wasn't for you drawing some lunatic's attention our way. Lots of people knew John. Lots of people were there when he died. Only you jumped in feet first like one of Charlie's angels and pissed the killer off. I'm like, too far. Too far. Too far.
That's not cool to say that to your sister. Come on.
Not cool at all. Not cool. I was like, damn, she went there. Shit. Oh my god. Oh yeah, this is the part where after Mia gets shot with paintballs, and she's like, I'm gonna kill him. If you see it happen, keep your mouth shut. She's like, okay.
Well, and I love that before that, like, she's totally convinced that she's shot, and then, like, Jake's on top of her, like, covering her body, making sure she's okay.
Covering her body with his own body in case more deadly bullets were. I mean, that is
I
true.
love how she's like talking to herself. She's like, I'm gonna have to start going to church now and start asking about Hail Marys. And I'm like, I know where your mind is at. Like, you're not worried about like the shots. You're worried about the body on top of you and what you want it to be doing instead of shielding you. So.
Yep. I mean, that's where my mind would be at. But
I agree, Alicia. The sister did get on my nerves.
Gosh. Okay. Wee! This is girl on my nerves. Honestly, like, she's a little extra. Well, bring out the killer run for us.
I hope that throw him back in her face, being like, you said it was me that brought the killer on. Like, you're the one that wanted me to date this psychopath.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Lots of groveling better happen in book 3. Okay, so this is when the killer talking about this weird, it's like you're the true main course. If that isn't proof enough of our destiny, I don't know what is. It's like the gods looked down and said, hey, we want you to be happy, so we made another one. Here she is.
No, that's oh no.
Oh my god.
Yes, Irish accent. I think the brother is Scottish, possibly.
You think who's Scottish?
The brother, or the brother-in-law, I should say.
Yes.
Angus. I'm just imagining him as Scottish at this point, and I'm happy. So I don't think it was ever established, but I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah, honestly, this guy.
It was really weird. And then, like, he made the mistake of saying that it was just a paint gun, not like a real gun. He's like, I never shoot you with a real gun. And then she runs away, and he, like, slaps one on her ankle. And I'm like, ow! Like, that, you could break some bones. And she's thinking to herself, like, I got to get out of here because he's not going to take me as, like, a pre-approved place to go to a hospital. I'm like, you are 100% correct. You're going to die if he keeps you because you're going to be concussed, and God knows what else.
Yeah, that's actually like when he shot her in the ankle. That was a really good shot. I had to give him that. Like, it was very impressive. Moving target, small. Yeah, yep, that was pretty impressive. So this is my last post-it note is when she basically headbutted him when she already had a concussion. I'm just like, fuck, man, she got it. She can kick ass, man. She can kick ass.
Mm-hmm. She's impressive.
I love her so much.
She's a literary hero of mine. Words are hard, guys. I can't say that.
Larry.
Yeah. It should be hard to say literary, but I mumbled it.
Oh, bye.
Have a good week. We'll talk to you later.
See you next week.
We got through the books. That's pretty impressive. I can't believe we did that in under an hour. And we had tangents. Who are we?
And we had tangents. Oh, yeah. But this one was so good. Yeah. And I like honestly, on the last freaking page, he was asking Jake, like, what's next for you now? And he was about to say something, but then he's like, turkey, I think. I'm like, you're such a jerk.
I need more than turkey from you, sir.
I need more than turkey. I need plans for the future. I need.
Want to get asked for her dad's permission?
But yeah, that was this book was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, definitely my favorite in the series so far. I mean, we haven't read the last book yet, but it's the fave so far. It's the fave.
Mm-hmm. True that.
Anything else that y'all wanted to discuss that we didn't go over in any of the post-it notes or the previous discussions?
Alicia,
wonder how
I think that memory is going to stick with him late into the evening, multiple evenings for months to come.
And he's got those pictures. I would have loved like his point of view, just that scene, and honestly, like this, like the picture scene too. I would like that. The big tough cop is shy. They always are. Big tough guy who just melts for his true love. That's what I like. That's what I like.
Ah, yes.
So yeah, this is just for next week, y'all. If y'all want to take a picture, look cute.
I like how both of them just tilt their head the same direction. Or too fun.
Too funny. So yeah, next week, Geek Girl's Guide to Justice, which is this book.
That one.
This one.
And then we have a week's break.
Then we got a week break. Yep.
And we're coming back to Impact Zone.
Impact Zone. And then after Impact Zone, we're going to be doing the Patient's Price mystery, which is the first one is Murder by the Seaside. So, but that should all be in the description box.
Follow us on Facebook. You'll see it there. If you follow us on the Twitter.
Impact Zone is in the description box, just not the Patient Price stuff. But I think for next week, there should be the Patient Price stuff. But also, don't forget that for those of you that are following the Percy Jackson read along, we are doing have a live show for that tomorrow. We're discussing the last half of the book for the Lightning Thief. And that's going to be on Bree's channel, the Loc'd Booktician. So that's tomorrow. All the times are there. Take a screenshot. Look cute.
I'm like, I'm not in it, but I
will. And then also this Saturday is going to be the final book in the Ember Log, which is A Sky Beyond the Storm by Saboteur. This gorgeous, thick book.
How many pages is that? That looks like a lot. That looks like a hefty one. At least 800.
Look at the page numbers. 516.
I was a little off.
It's like, look at the page number. Do not look at the words. So that's going to be on Deja's channel, Deja's Book World. Take a screenshot. Look cute.
I can't do it without laughing at this point.
I know. So funny. So funny. But yeah, let's get back to the comments here. Crack me.
We are a little bit goofy. I'm not going to lie.
We're goofy. We're goofballs. Alrighty. Well, if nobody else has anything they want to comment.
I know. I was like, I could go through. I have too many like random thoughts in there. I, for a lot of it, thought that it was going to be a woman because having read enough historical novels, they always talk about how poison is like a woman's poison. So
yeah, they even brought that up. I think that was a red herring that they brought up the fact that, poison is a woman's weapon. Not good because she will literally headbutt you in the face.
Well, John had so many like jilted lovers. Like he had the blacksmith, the apothecary lady.
Yeah. He was throwing his wild oats all throughout that fair.
I was like, goodness gracious, could be anyone. And then the guy started saying, I loved him so much. And I was like, maybe it's one of the guys now. Like, I'm very concerned with who it could be. There's so many of them.
So many. But yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just could not, like, even the last few books for Cozies, I'm just like, I don't know. I wasn't really trying to figure out who the killer was. But then when it was revealed, I'm just like, who are you? That just shows you how much I freaking pay attention in the beginning of these books. Like, freak. God.
List, but I didn't even put Adam on my list. I'm like, oh, she's just trying to set him up. Like, I won't put him down because I didn't feel like it was going to be important. And then all of a sudden, like, he pops up a couple more times, and I'm like, maybe I should write your name down. Maybe I shouldn't. Like, how much are you going to pop up in here? We haven't been introduced to you. And then we get towards the end, and he was being like really creepy with Bree, and I'm like, I feel like I should suspect you now. And then we talking about the flowers, and I'm like, I really remember you mentioning like an orange flower, and there was like a symbolism to it, like a beautiful lady, or I think that might be Belladonna.
Belladonna, yeah. Beautiful lady.
Yeah, I'm excited to start the third book.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Yep. Might happen sooner than later. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that is going to be it for us. Thank you, everyone, so much for coming to the live. We really appreciate it. Even if you didn't read the book, you participating really means a lot to us. We really, really appreciate you. But we'll see you next week for the last book, Geek Girl's Book Guide to Justice. One more time, tomorrow we're finishing up discussing The Lightning Thief. When we discuss Sea of Monsters in February, those are going to be on my channel. So that is those links for the link for the first live stream for the first half of the book is going to be in the description box for you. And then, of course, Saturday, the last book in the Ember and the Ashes series is going to be on Deja's channel. We're going to be discussing that. I should probably start that book because I got to physically read it because I didn't get the audiobook.
Audible.
I canceled my Audible. I canceled my Audible subscription.
What? When did that happen?
Probably it was in December. I was not impressed with their Plus plan, not like I was with the Audible Escape, because everything I looked for, it was not a part of the Plus plan, even like some romances and stuff that, so I was just very disappointed. And honestly, like that can be a whole discussion too, because they just made this decision. And honestly, the Audible Escape plan was not very good. I mean, we talked about this on the live yesterday for the romance booktubers, when did we talk about that? But anyway, so we, the Audible Escape was not paying the authors of these books very well. And so, from an author standpoint, that wasn't a very good subscription, wasn't a very good plan. But honestly, if they just sent out an email and to the subscribers and be like, hey, like, would you be willing to pay a couple dollars more a month so we can pay these authors? I would have been like, yeah, absolutely. But but instead they cancel the whole subscription, and then they have this Plus plan that's really not a plus. It's like a mediocre, almost equal sign, not even a plus. Good night. Okay, that rant over. Rant over.
That was my bad.
Rant over. But anyway,